Saturday after the Super Rigs truck show, the 2016 truck show here in Joplin, Missouri, and looking at a really awesome looking truck here. And I believe some folks may have seen this truck before, but who do we have the pleasure of talking to there?
Sean McEndree Sr, owner of the Purple Heart Tribute Truck Club Band of Brothers.
10-4. Well, I'd like to jump right in and have you tell me all about the theme of the truck and obviously what connection that has to you.
Last year I picked up this truck here. I've always wanted to do another theme truck. I had a theme truck before in the past there, and I sold it to get custody of my boys. So back in 2004, I was wounded over in Iraq, and I wanted to find a way to pay homage to all my brothers and sisters who's ever been out there, been wounded and fighting for this country. So I got with Dan Brown there at DB Custom Trucks there in Antioch, Illinois, and put our heads together and come up with this truck.
Well, I think it's a really, really well done truck in terms of how the theme has flowed throughout it, you know, between color and the murals and everything. Explain what a Purple Heart is in relationship to being in the Army or in the services.
Well, the Purple Heart Medal is one you can only receive it by being wounded in combat by the enemy. So, George Washington put the citation into order back when he was president, and for a while there, that was the highest military honor you could receive, and of course now the highest honor is the Medal of Honor.
And you had mentioned that while you're in the services there, you had got wounded, and by being at this show, I saw a lot of people that are in the service being at the show. What are some of the reactions that you've had from people in the service and people that possibly have family members? What do they say to you?
They come up to me and thank me for my service and really appreciate the truck. Several of them have lost family members. It's a cry, and they, you know, it makes them cry, and they're real thankful that I did the truck, because they feel like their family members being honored and remembered the way they should be.
I would imagine so. If you can describe, you know, starting from the left side on the hood, there the murals going around to the back and coming back to the front. What are those?
Okay, on the front we got the American flag, and of course the bald eagle, which is the symbol of the United States, power, freedom, and liberty. So we went with that. On the side of the door, we got the Purple Heart Medal, of course, and starting down that and the side of the truck, you got a squad that's getting ready to go in and kick some butt, you know. Of course, we've got the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, each side of the sleeper. The back, you have, being I'm a truck driver, we got the HET, which is the Heavy Equipment Transport. He's pulling a big old M1 Abrams tank and taking the fight to the enemy. Real similar images on both sides. It wraps back around with another scene of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Back onto the door, another squad, and there's some Chinooks there dropping them off as they get ready to do an insertion into a village. Back to the eagle and the flag on the hood, and on the top of the hood there's a set of hands holding a Purple Heart Medal, and what that signifies was that officer awarding fallen soldier's family his Purple Heart.
Really well thought out images, and those images do tell a story, and I'm sure people will, when they come up to your truck, they really look at that. Do you have people that don't know anything about those images? Do you often explain that to them?
No, that's what's really been amazing me out here, showing me that patriotism is alive and well. These people know what that medal means, and they know what them guys are doing on the wrapped around this truck and what it signifies and the price that's being paid.
Well, that's great. Tell me about some of the, let's start from the outside of the truck. Tell me about some of the custom parts and some of the custom things that have been done with the truck, and then move on to the inside.
All right, on the outside, I got the big old Dynaflex 8-inch monster stacks, of course, with the new Aussie turnout. And I got General tires. Of course, that just goes right along with the theme, the military theme there. John and Glenn at Badass Customs, I've got their front bumper, rear fenders, T-bar, some other little specialty items we made that he hasn't released yet, but we're going to get there. And Road Rage Designs out of Spring Grove, Illinois. A gentleman named Mike owns that. He is a veteran himself. He put over 200 hours into designing this wrap for this truck.
Wow, 200 hours in design. How long did it take to get it all wrapped up there?
Normally it takes about 2 weeks to lay a wrap like this on a truck. Him and his people stayed 3 days straight working around the clock and got it done in 3 days.
That's amazing. You know, I didn't ask you what you do with the truck. You know, we got a really good backstory on what the truck represents, but tell me about what you do with it.
I'm leased on the quality carriers, and I pull a tank, and most of the time I'm pulling Hazardous.
10-4. And what's the range of hazardous materials? Give me an idea on some of the things you carry and where you go with it and what it's like to operate that type of equipment.
It ranges anywhere from a corrosive, some glue, there's some caustic stuff. There's sometimes we've hauled wastewater. There's just one time I pulled some stuff, you even sniffed it, and it was going to kill you. It's a pretty simple process. You got to get up, check top of the tank, vent it, you know, open the dome. If they're pumping your load off, if you're airing off, you don't have to. You just hook up your air, but you're always going into some kind of pit there because if anything happens, everything has to be contained according to the EPA, right?
I've seen some pictures where some tanks have looked like they've been crushed, like a soda can. What's going on there with that?
It's either the driver or the plant's error. They forgot to get up there and open the dome and vent that tank, so and there was no. All it did was create a large vacuum and finally sucked hard enough that it crushed the tank.
Well, I tell you what, that's one heck of a vacuum pressure there to do that.
Oh, well, you ought to see some of them pumps. I mean, 45,000 pounds and they can pump it off in about 30 minutes. That's getting after it.
With what you do, having a hazardous material that you're hauling, if you wanted to talk to a motorist, what would you tell them in order to be safe as they drive around your truck there?
Be aware of the truck's blind spots. You know, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you. Don't think that we can stop on a dime like a car there, because it takes at 55 mile an hour, or 35 mile an hour, it takes us the length of a football field to get stopped.
Well, that's a good example that you use. No one's ever used that before. Everyone's familiar with the length of a football field in miles per hour.
Oh, for sure. When you pull in the tank, man, mine don't have baffles in it, so I get a lot of tank surge. You got to leave yourself an out and be prepared. You got to look further down the road than what you normally would.
That reminds me of that one accident. Somebody's mattress flew off of their pickup truck, and the driver of a tank tried to avoid it, and the truck exploded. Yeah, what was your takes on that?
It don't take much. If you're not paying attention with the tank, you jerk that wheel too hard to the right or left, that surge will roll you one way or the other, depending on which way you're doing it.
So it's almost like having a tidal wave in a small, confined space, huh?
Oh, yeah, it creates like a tsunami, and you're not going to stop it, because we're a high center of gravity anyway, you know.
Well, Sean, as we roll back in here, I want to just say thanks for taking a minute to go out on the highway so people can see and hear your truck in motion and what everything signifies there.
Sure, man. It was an honor to do it, man. I'm honored you to want to have my truck on one of your videos, man. We appreciate you.
Well, hopefully we'll see you at many more shows to come.
10-4, man. You take care and have safe travels.